by His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. According to a dead body is set on fire, but before death there is another fire or fever, which is called prajwara or Vishnu Jwara. Medical science verifies that when one's temperature is raised to 107 degrees, a man immediately dies. This prajwara or high fever at the last stage of life places the living entity in the midst of a blazing fire. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swarupa Kadamayan Radhati Swadhantyam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Shri Guru Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Sakhantam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurami Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpataruya Kripasindhu Vacha Patidana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Mugham karoti vachalam panguvam gayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinataranam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yasya anubhavam akilam srutisaramekam adhyatma devamatitirsatam tamundam samsarina karunayaha purana guyam amvyasa namupayami guru urmaninam.
My hearing verses from hearing from you.
You learn after hearing from me. I learn after hearing from Patridas. I never looked on this, just like hearing. Audible transmission. So it's called Shruti. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, chapter 28. Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life. Text number 11. So this burning fire we have discussed so many times. All the literatures, Vedic literatures always talk about a blazing fire. They compare this material world to a blazing fire. Every morning we chant same thing to remind ourselves. Samsara dava navalida loka pranayaka nala lidha sansara dava nala. Dava nala is one word. Lidha means to swallow. Loka, this world. This material blazing fire is swallowing the whole world into its belly. That fire is compared to the struggle of living entities into this material world. And why do we need to do the struggle for living? If we are Sachidananda, full of bliss, full of knowledge, full of eternity, what is the question of struggling into this material world so hard that people even do not know they are struggling? They prioritize so much about this material world and established so many rules that you must act, you must work, you must make your life better. Every mother, when a baby is born, she simply educates the child that one day you need to become first class person, you need to grow up, study well, get a good job, stand on your one leg. Please reduce the volume a little bit. Thank you so much. So again and again, this principle that keeps us in this material world has been forcefully taught upon us in this material world by our family, by our mother, by our school, by our education system, by everything. And as a result, we are trying to be success in our life. The passion to be success is pushing us, chasing us all the time. And ultimately, that passion of to be success is to, you are competing with Supreme Lord, indirect way. I'm not knowing, I do not know that I am competing with Supreme Lord so that I am looking for success. But ultimately, if we closely analyze the spirit behind it, then that means every living being is trying to become God in their pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Liberty. You're looking for independence, the land of freedom, land of liberty. But this is a revolt against Krishna. But if we again even closely see, if we come a little closer to the picture in this world, that we are not at all liberty free. We always depend on external things in material world. We depend on everything, we depend on something else. People have made material things as their life and soul. And they have forgotten the real personality. Like we depend on motor car, we depend on computer, we depend on cell phone, we depend on whatnot, everything. Every happiness we are looking and depending on somebody else. And if something happens and we keep blaming others, and we do all kind of blame on others, but we never focus on ourselves. That is why, because people are losing interest in spiritual life, so as a result, temples, mosques, churches are getting empty, and universities, colleges are filled with so many people. In early days, you would have a lot of people come to the church, come to temple, come to mosque, and learn the science of bhakti. That was real education. So all the Vedas, they are simply teaching people. Like Rig Veda, Rig means to see. All the physics, all the law of physics comes from Rig Veda. For example, little example, in Rig Veda it is mentioned that hydroelectricity, how to generate hydroelectricity is explained in Rig Veda. There is a story about how Indra, once he was riding in a chariot, and he happened to be on the river, on the big mass of water, and his chariot got stuck on that water river, and then he pulled the rein of his horse, and his horse took that stuck chariot out of the water, and then the turbine, the wheel, and this is how the science of electricity, generating electricity, is given in the Vedas. All the physics, law, everything is in Rig Vedas. Actually, it is showing people how to see the creation of the Lord through the eyes of the scriptures. How do we see this creation? And after we know about the physics of this material world and we see that God has created this and we see through the eyes of the scriptures and we now understand and start glorifying that personality. Like if I see a painting, for example, what is the name of Prabhu? What is your name? Prabhu name? Charuhasa Prabhu painted a beautiful picture of Lord Nrsimhadev. So when somebody see that painting and see the pictures and analyze everything, wow, it's really great. I would know the painter of this painting. I wish I could know someone who made this painting. So Sama Vedas means, Sama means music. Music doesn't mean like playing an instrument and like the way we understand music. Music means the tuning, the huh?
Frequency.
The frequency, the rhythm, the like in music, the term soma is there in music. That means the equilibrium, that the melody or everything, like internal, the feeling, the emotion of that song. So all the Samavedas are the Shrutis, Suktas, all the poems, poetry, they are glorifying that personality. And Yajurveda is teaching about Yaju. Yaju means yajna, sacrifices. And teaching people to be disciplined and follow the rules. Remain within the scriptural injunctions and perform your karma that are not violating the instruction of the scriptures. So it's a training people through different kind of processes and yajnas and sacrifices. Like if you wish to have a son, do this yajna. If you wish to accumulate wealth, do this yajna. If you want to be very happy, worship Mother Earth. In Bhagavatam also is mentioned, if one wants a good health, establish your relationship with Mother Earth. Earth gives this spirit of health. That's why see Krishna, what he did, he spent his whole childhood pastime in Vrindavan with earth, cows, forest, land, no shoes, direct spursa touch with the Mother Earth and live a peaceful life. Green, drink water from Mount Lemon like last time you did. So this is all signs that Vedas are teaching people to become at least a civilized, disciplined, good person. That's why the word Manusya, human beings are called Manusya in Sanskrit. And from Manusya is called, we have a Manu Samhita. Manu is also connected to the human being. So Manusa Isa means what?
God.
God, in another word, controller. One who can control his mind, he is Manusya. So unless one comes to the platform, to the level of controlling one's own mind, then one cannot claim that he is a human being. He can be considered still an animal. It's Dupada Pasu. So the primary difference between animal and human being is animal, they do not have that controlling sense. Like if we bring here 10 cats and 5 dogs and have them sit in a classroom and listen Kirtan Gadas, then they would not peaceful for even 2 minutes. They just run over here and yeah. But see, we can peacefully sit down and listen, and then if we do not like the speaker, then still we tolerate and we make this class go on. So if we see that our sages would sit down in one place for thousands of years, no vacation, no traveling, no going anywhere else, just sit down, meditate, because their mind was controlled. They were able to bring that playful mind into the control, and they would meditate on Krishna. So these all the Vedic literatures, there are thousands of Vedic literatures, and everything are simply talking about God, but they are presenting so many other criterias, other sphere of knowledge. So in order to run a society, we need the knowledge from the scripture. That's why we have so many dharma shastras. Like when we talk about satya truthfulness, it not simply not telling a lie is what satya means. Satya has so many vast definition of satya. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has spoken all this principle in complete, but all the details about that statement that Krishna speaks are given in Dharma Shastras. That's why in order to run a society, all the kings would be very, very trained in those scriptures. That's why they are called Raja Rishis. King, but saintly kings. Devotees, their focus is on they have one pointed goal. They are not aspiring to live a peaceful life into this material world and live a successful life, and after this life, because of a lot of pious deed, go up to heavenly planet and enjoy with so many apsaras and live a long life, drink special liquor, and like this concept is there in Islam also. Like if you do something, then you will be welcomed in heaven, like with so many apsaras. Same ideas in Vedas also, same thing ideas. But Vedas,
Also the Mormon Church.
Mormon churches. But our Vedas are trying to bring people under the discipline of this cosmological, of the Krishna's desire, so that once one go through, or once one live his life according to the principle of the Dharma Shastras, then one can easily come to understand that I am not this body. The whole scriptures begin from that point, that Athado Brahma Jigyasa, that you are not this body. Try to think and search something else, who you really are. But in our modern society, people are not paying any attention to this very important fact. No education, no system teaching this point. Just like in corporate, if somebody is trying to do business, before they produce their product, what do? Omar, what do people do when they try, before they launch their product? They test it, yes. But they praise people and make them feel the need of that product.
Yeah,
Right? Advertisement. Just like in India, when Britishers came, before British came to India, they would not drink tea. Tea was not there. But the Britishers came and they say, if you drink tea, your mind becomes so calm, you can so relaxed, you get so peace, very nice tea. They talk you first a lot about it, and they preached about it, and then later on people start thinking, oh wow, chai is so nice. Now, yeah, Kirtaneswar Prabhu has traveled in India in train, so he knows what is the meaning of chai, garam chai, garam chai. Early morning, 3 o'clock in the train, many vendors come. I really like that, to listen, and when you travel in the train, chai, ande, like egg, boiled egg. Ande, muri chai. People first teach the needs of their product and they launch their product and it goes to the market. Like Fair and Lovely. Have you heard about Fair and Lovely? The cream that people put in India. In India, people like to be white. Somehow or other, they love fair skin so much. And most of the Indian, like me, look at me, we like brownish people, little when we mention our skin color in the paper, they say wheat white. You know wheat, the grain wheat. How is your complexion? You are wheat white. You are white, but your white is like a wheat. Kongoro.
And here everyone wants to be tan.
So the fair and lovely, if you use your fair and lovely in your face, you become like an Englishman. Here is the product. Come on, and then they all used. So people understand the need of the product, and they launch that product, and it goes to the market, and people buy it and use it. But nobody is advertising about the importance of who you are. People are losing faith. People are not paying attention to, people are not interested to know who they are. So that they are simply running externally into this material world, and they are never satisfied. They are always fearful. You know the great poet called Bhatrihari? Bhatrihari means Ahara Nindra Vayamaitunamsa. Who wrote that poem? His name called Bhatrihari. Everyone is very fearful in this material world, including every single person. A businessman is fearful that how may I expand my business if somebody else will come and then make more business than me. The fear that he has all the time. And the king is always fearful that my citizen will not revolt against me and throw out me from the throne. So this way the king is always fearful. A child is always fearful that he may not get some playthings, toys, or everything like that. Young adult is fearful that I may not be getting job or career or this and that. So many ways that we are always fearful. So Srimad Bhagavatam has very clearly says that when the living being has separated from the Supreme Lord, since time immemorial, that desire to be God and being separated from God and wandering into this material world in so many varieties of bodies is the seed of fear that has implanted on one's mind, and we are running after, we are never satisfied, and we are always fearful. So Krishna, he says that the charity, there are four types of charity. One charity, we give some things, goods, like if you have extra bed in your home, if you have just like when we do not use any clothes, we take it and give it to Goodwill store. Or sometimes we give to people. In India, people come to your door and knock. I lost my home in fire. Can you give me some old clothes? From India, like India has 1 billion people, so they always come to Nepal to beg, because Nepal is very charitable place. People always give. And some people come, give me some food, like that. So giving things is a fourth class charity. And little higher than that, when people give money, people come to the temple, or some socially recognized people, big people, rich people, in order to have some good name, to cultivate their false ego, their pride, they contribute some money, donation. The second class, better than things. With that money, you can buy things and you can utilize it for other necessities of life. So this is better than giving things. And the third class, better than that is giving charity of knowledge. All the brahmanas, all the priests, educationalists, spiritualists, they impart the knowledge to the common people who do not have access or who do not have proper understanding, proper intelligence to understand the scriptures. They explain them and give them charity. It's better than giving them money. Even higher than knowledge, that avayadan. Avaya means what? Fearlessness. Dan, charity. Who gives fearlessness to us?
Krishna.
Krishna gives. So Krishna is the best charitable personality. He gives us fearlessness. So we call Prabhupada Avaya Charanaravinda. Avaya Charanaravinda. He is fixed in the lotus feet of the Lord, who is giving this charity to all of us. So when we focus the importance of our soul and who we are, our scripture is teaching us first who we are not. The teaching start from that point. In order to make us understand who we are, scriptures are teaching who we are not first. Then it will be easy for us to understand who I am. If I know who I am not. This is where Krishna's teaching begins in Bhagavad Gita. Dehino isminatha dehe kaumaram jobanam jara. Some acharyas say this is the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita.
I always think it's the Tvevaham.
Yeah, same. This is also same. Na tvevaham jatunasam, na tvam neme janadhipa, na chaiva na bhavishyamaha, sarve vaya matah param. So, and this understanding comes with faith. Prabhupada explained in Bhagavad Gita purport Asraddha Dhana Purusha in chapter 9. He says that devotees, they come and study the literatures for many years. Prabhupada is not talking, or Krishna is not talking to Asraddha Dhana Purusha for non-believer outsiders. He is talking among the devotees who are already taking spiritual life. They are the audience here in this Krishna's addressing. Those people who come to the Krishna consciousness and live in Krishna consciousness, study book and attend programs and everything for many years, but even then their faith is not getting stronger. They sometimes leave the movement and go away. Why? Because the faith was not very strong. Shraddha Sabde, there is a very nice definition of Shraddha in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That one has complete faith in Krishna, that Krishna will at all time maintain me in good way, so that I do not need to worry anything else. That firm determination, Vishwas, Bhakti gives Shraddha, and Shraddha is the seed. Shraddha is the seed of our devotional creeper. If that seed is not implanted in our heart, then the creeper does not sprout. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that the mind of the pure devotees is like a completely blossomed flower from that seed of Shraddha. When it was planted in them, they nourished it, they cultivated it with a different way of sadhana bhakti, and slowly that creeper sprouted into their heart. And after the creeper sprouted, it has flowers, leaves, branches, and everything. And ultimately, the final conclusion, final result of that creeper is a beautiful, nice looking blossom flower. This is springtime. We can go to the garden and see our roses. The whole essence of that plant, the thorny plant with so many thorns, if you are not careful, then it will prick you. So the pure devotee's mind, because of the cultivation of pure bhakti, their mind has opened, blossomed like a flower, and they see the purpose of life better than we see. We may have like that bird, not open yet, or not even the level of, not even to that level of opening a bird. Our creeper are still struggling, watering many years, but it has not grown up. Sometimes I have experience when we plant something, if there is some acidic soil or something, bad soil, no matter how much water and fertilizer you add to that soil, the plant still remains like this, never grows. It remains there. And when we try to see this world with that unblossomed mind, then we see everything connected to this world and we completely disconnect ourselves from Krishna and we don't see the reality. This is what all the Gyanis, they do have faith in scriptures, but they do not have faith in God. Or they do not have faith in service to God. Why? They think there is no need to render service to the God because you yourself is the same God that the God you think. What is the need to address God as separating from yourself? That's why Prabhupada says, these Gyanis, with this knowledge, they fall down. Because they have not tested the taste that comes from rendering service, practical, physical service to the Lord. And Krishna has spoken in Bhagavad Gita that what is the use of you Gyani studying all the Vedas, but you do not know me? Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedyo. I am to be known by studying all the Vedas, but somehow you stuck in their knowledge and you expanded your horizon and you become a big, great, intelligent person and you try to understand God by your knowledge, then you cannot understand me because I am beyond your research. So when we become fearful, and then death is like an instrument for pure devotees. Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Instrument, like a stepping stone. When we climb this second story building, we have a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we have received the charity of Avaya from Krishna, so devotees are not fearful of death. It's just like a moment of silence. That's it. So in Shastra, in Dharma Shastra, there are 8 types of death explained. Death doesn't simply mean dying and leaving this body. You know, when Ashwatthama, when he was caught by Arjuna, he was brought in front of who?
Krishna, Bhishma,
Draupadi.
Krishna, Bhishma, Draupadi.
Yeah. Draupadi's kids were killed by this person. And Draupadi told to her husband that I cannot be relieved of this grief until I drink the blood or I see that person.
No, confusing 2 stories.
Oh, really?
Draupadi wanted Ashwatthama to live. He wanted Ashwatthama to live, but then she wanted after she was derobed, she wanted the blood of Dusashana.
Okay, that is a different story. Anyway, but Ashwatthama was also brought up them and they wanted to kill him, but Draupadi stopped. And Krishna gave a solution that if you cut his hair, for Kshatriya, defeating that way is like worse than death. So this is also like another kind of death. So yeah, there are 8 types of death. Like to defame you in front of public, you call a lot of people and bring Kirtaneswara in front of you. Kirtaneswara is brahmachari. He gave up this material world, life, living, marriage, everything. He is a loser, coward. He is like running away from material world. So you are defaming him, and it's like, oh my God, he really make me. It's like almost like a death. I'm giving a good example, but you see other way. Okay. And someone is living with a like chronic disease for a long time, suffering from disease. You don't have any free will choices. You always take some medication, struggling in life. Death is like almost this way, and then dying, and all other 8 kind of death. But Shastra says that the people cannot see. Pasyan api na pasyan. They have seen this every day in their daily life. Everything is going on. Pasyan api, they have seen, but they have not seen yet. Napasyati. Because their mind has not opened up yet. Just like a parachute. You jump from the top, but if that parachute on the way has some technical issue, error, and it does not open, your life is gone. So the parachute of mind has not opened up yet. That is why we need somebody to guide us in this opening of business. This is the meaning of sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha means sadhu can teach us what I do not know. The meaning of sadhu sangha was just like we have Acharya Ratna Prabhu visited from India. He is not talking anything new. He is simply talking from the same scriptures, same ideas, same book, same philosophy, same guru, same thing. But he is adding his personal experience in this journey and make it more interesting for us to hear. And that gives us another level of faith, simply nourishing our faith. And it teaches us to live by giving happiness to Krishna. That's what Narada Muni, in one word, he make a formula about bhakti. Tat sukhitva, tat sukhitva sukhitvam. He says, how we become happy by making Krishna happy. Tat sukhitva, tat means, like when we say, Om Tat Sat Tat, always the word Tat, when you hear always Tat means remember Krishna. Tat Sukhitva, by pleasing him. And Sukhitvam, we become happy. So if we do not nourish our faith in Krishna consciousness, and Prabhupada says, if you can go and read the purport from chapter 9, the Asraddha Dana Purusha, that devotees living in temple many years, they may not have this inspiration that they may not be looking Krishna in their life. The purpose after becoming a devotee, if you are not looking Krishna, if you are not searching Krishna, that if we see in Vrindavan when Krishna left, all the gopis were searching for Krishna. They were not trying to understand Krishna by the scriptures or anything else. They were looking Krishna in every step. So when we read a book, if we traditionally look book like a habit, I read every day 2 hours and read it, but in the lines of Prabhupada, if we are not looking Krishna, then our reading may not be very effective. But every word, you see that you look for Krishna. Prabhupada is giving so many nice argument to agitate our intelligence so that we look for Krishna, we search for Krishna in the lines of the books. And the more we do so, then the more we become humble, humbling down. And when we are really humbled, why do we remain humble? Because we understand that we have not following according to the scriptures for many lifetimes, and we have gone against the desire of the Lord. That gives us so painful feeling that, oh, I was such a rascal, that I naturally become very humble. And into that humble state of mind, when something happened to me, I do not blame him for that reason. I blame myself. It was my mind that made me think that way. Actually, there is no one that really giving me any pleasure, happiness, or distress or anything. It was me alone that I was agitated. The agitated are one who are looking for respect. If you are not aspiring for respect or honor, then if somebody say, "Hey Lalita, what are you doing?" They don't mind at all. Hi, I'm doing a bit. No. But if my inside that if Omar comes and I expect Omar Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I want him to see that Hare Krishna Prabhuji, and if he doesn't, then this guy is not good devotee. He is not even paying respect to me, because I was looking respect already. That's why I was disturbed by the act. That's why it's a Vaishnavas, they always beg forgiveness. They do not forgive because they think, I'm so humble. I have no capacity to forgive somebody. The feeling of forgiving other is like, I am great, man. I can forgive you. Understand who I am? So humility comes from that stage of mind. And this is what Prabhupada is teaching us. This is what all the scriptures are teaching us. This is what our devotees are every day sharing the same thing. And this is what we experience in our life. And simply it makes your faith even stronger, and it let it grow. And one day we can see that beautiful blossoming aromatic flower. And when I come close to you, I smell that aroma from you. We stop here? Okay, 51. And I forgot my own water. I brought my water, okay?
You mentioned this.
Please forgive me if I did anything, if I say anything wrong, please go ahead.
You mentioned this point about, we can read and read and read, but if we're not looking for Krishna, we won't see it. And that's a really important point, especially like when I was in Mayapur and Bhakti Vaibhav and Bhakti Shastri. You really learn how to look for Krishna. But what I found in what Bhagavatam says is that if you really want to, the way to relish the Bhagavatam deeper, which we do every Wednesday night, is it says, and we have to hear Bhagavatam in satam prasangam mama virya sambhiro, that in the association of my satam, my devotees, satam prasangam, then we really, bhavanti hrit karna rasayana kataha, and we get this taste for hearing, and we relishing the ears, relishing the tongue, and then opens apavarga, makes one liberated from all miseries, and then shraddha ratir bhakti anukramishati, one develops faith, love, and attachment for Krishna in that association. So if you don't share your realizations, which is why I ask a question every day, because when we share, we make progress. Krishna is pleased by that point. So by sharing, asking questions, and speaking about Bhagavatam, we make so much progress.
It's not like everybody can ask questions. The question arises in a good mind. If I am not paying attention and I simply listening just to show my attendance, then no question come in my mind. My thoughts are like dull. They are slept. You asking question because the natural inquiry come within. Like in a lot of people in material world, they think that let me have first faith, let me understand first philosophy, then I might join Krishna consciousness. It's not working in this way. In Krishna consciousness, you must first start working, and the faith slowly come. It's not coming from your understanding; it's coming from Krishna's mercy. Also, like material people, I'm not going to there until I test it. This is wrong idea. I never come to Krishna consciousness. First come, listen, look for Krishna. That's what Pibatam, Bhagavatam, drinking means reading again and again and again and again. And find that, like, when we do something again and again, why do we do that? Because we enjoy doing that. We have ruchi. So again and again and again hearing Bhagavatam, from whom Sukadev Goswami, who has understand all the Nigama Kalpa, Taru Phalam, Pravitam Phalam. Sukadev Goswami is an experienced person, releasing all the fruits, all the knowledge of the Vedas. And now he is telling about Pibata Bhagavatam, drink this nectar by again and again reading. Then you can turn and bring the butter out of it. Sir Omar.
Could you elaborate on what it means to look at finding Krishna in the words of the scripture? Practically, what does that look like?
Seeker of Krishna, looking for Krishna in Bhagavatam. So when we read every line, what does that mean? What Krishna want to say this? How do not enjoy do not try to exercise your intelligence by studying this knowledge. Like, for example, I go to Mayapur and to Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Shastri, and I become a graduate, I have a certificate, and I accumulate so much knowledge so that I can teach people and become a guru, great man, famous person. Or after studying that you are trying to understand who Krishna is, what Krishna is really trying to say, what is the goal of my preaching to other people, how can I share Krishna to other. So look, Krishna means try to understand him even closer. What is he really trying to say here? Is a different dimension. So just I may be not able to explain well, but
That's great. You said this line by line.
uh-huh.
That's what I figured in Bhakti Bhagavatam is what I took. You read each sentence line by line and try to understand what is being said here. And you can actually realize that each word of Srila Prabhupada, each sentence is a whole lecture. Each sentence is a sacred verse. Every sentence Prabhupada spoke is like a lecture. It's a verse. It's Shastra. Every single sentence. And so you can read Bhagavatam like that. It's not like we read a novel. We're just reading it. No, we're studying it. So it's like, you go to the purport. What does this statement mean? What does this statement mean? What does this statement mean? And you can just relish it that way. And that's our
Prabhupada, each sentence are based on some of the scriptures, and their essence is giving like a capsule. So, for example, in this sloka of Asraddha Purusha, Krishna says in the most confidential knowledge that externally, if you look at it, one who do not have faith, they go to material world again, they fall into the cycle of birth and death. Superficially looking, you only see that, and you think that these people in material world, they have no faith in Krishna, and then they go again birth and. But Prabhupada is writing. He is not talking about outside people. He's talking about devotees who are already come inside, and he is seeing their psychology, their intention, their real motivation to come to Krishna consciousness, and then he analyzing how even you taking up Krishna consciousness, you do not have Shraddha. Prabhupada is talking in completely different level because he understands the motivation of Krishna that speaking that verse. So the angle is different.
Right.
So
it's like the content of
Yeah.
himself, and then he's looking at like the wise Krishna saying,
Yeah.
which like shows like intent.
Prabhu Chris?
In relation to this, there's a different way, a different way of thinking or understanding. It's a different mind.
Yeah.
In Western culture, we call it left brain, right brain.
Uh-huh.
That's one way of saying it. So if you use your intense intellectual mind, you can't understand things the same way. Is that you kind of relax? That's what meditation is supposed to. It's supposed to relax. You distract the japa is to distract your intellectual mind away. Get it. Keep it busy so it's out of the way, and then you can use the other part of your mind to really understand. Like Kirtan was saying, if you look at what Prabhupada says line by line, and you kind of meditate on one sentence at a time, you get a different understanding than if you try and analyze it.
line by line. That's how we read
Yeah.
Prabhupada's book.
One thing, one time Srila Prabhupada, that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or who predicted Senapati Bhakta would come one day and...
Lochan Das Thakur.
Huh?
Lochan Das.
Lochan Das Thakur, okay. And Prabhupada one day is sitting in Mayapur and watching, looking out from the window. And he had his foreign disciples. Then Prabhupada had already acted like a Senapati Bhakta. He traveled all over the world. He established so many temples. He initiated so many devotees. And he was already working like a lion. He had accomplished the job as a Senapati Bhakta. Then Prabhupada says, maybe that statement that in future some Senapati Bhakta will come and preach the mission of Lord Chaitanya, maybe that is me. And he started crying. He says that I did it, I was the one, and I'm so happy now. He thought maybe that person is me, and he started crying. That was his. But in our case, if I do something and yeah, Kirtan really did great job. Yeah, I am very happy, and my chest become very wide enough, and then I walk among my devotees. This is the difference between our understanding and Prabhupada understanding. So once you go through the deep meaning of that line of the scriptures or reading, meditate and look Krishna, then you completely see something else. Totally changed.
As P. Keshava Swami said once, he said, don't try to read the Bhagavatam to understand it, because you'll never understand it's Krishna himself. You can understand some, but don't try to understand Krishna. Try to read the Bhagavatam to love Krishna.
Yes. That's what Vrindavan Gopis say. We don't love God. We don't love God because Krishna.
We don't love Krishna because he's God.
Oh, we don't love Krishna because he's God, but we love Krishna because he's.
We love God because he's Krishna.
Oh, because we love God because he's Krishna. They're confusing. Can you say again? We don't love God.
We don't love Krishna because he's God.
Oh, yes. We don't love Krishna because he's God. We love God because he is Krishna. That's thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kirtan Yajna ki.
Hare Bol, Jai Ho. Thank you so much.
Favorite class of the week.